Recently, I have noticed that getting married and divorcing almost immediately has become the order of the day in our society, to the extent that couples declare their divorce on social media platforms. This got me thinking, if there is no better way to settle disagreement and differences in marriage other than abuse and divorce. Well, I am not a legal practitioner, but I am speaking out of my personal observation, and the one or two I know among the causes of divorce is an abusive relationship, or better still, domestic violence or abuse. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mariage, and in today's video, we will be discussing on the topic, or should I say, we would rather be asking ourselves this question: is divorce the only way out of an abusive marriage? If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and don't forget to like, share, and comment. So some days ago, while with my video producer, I saw a couple up on social media seeking separation, and I was just thinking aloud if this could be the only solution. He recommended a video on a YouTube channel known as Cruise, where individuals gave their point of view on this topic of discussion. After watching, I decided to share with you, so we can all give our own point of view. Let's have a look.
A friend of mine was hit starved to death just because of beans. That the beans was not soft enough for a man to eat. I've experienced coma, go 3 times. I'm telling you my life history.
You saw those signs. What happened? You were in love. You just ignored the signs. Continue ignoring the signs now.
There is no marriage without fights. Let us not deceive ourselves. This is a man that I know that, oh yes, he hates me, but yet he loves me.
If your husband sexually abused your child and you find out it's true, what are you going to do?
The man will definitely be reported.
Yeah.
But that does not feel that I will divorce my husband. I want you to get that fact.
Before we continue with the video, I would like us to understand that domestic violence or abuse is generally known as a pattern of behavior where people use to either gain power or control over their intimate partner. And obviously, this behavioral pattern tends to cause harm on one or both of the partners.
Please signify if you agree with the prompt. Divorce is the only way out of an abusive marriage.
I can't stand abusive marriage anymore. I've experienced coma, go 3 times. I will advise separate till like 2-3 years, 4 years, and see the both partner will adjust. If it does not work, go for divorce. Let everybody's head calm down. Then let's see who is the devil and who is who.
Let everybody's head calm down. So what if during that period nobody's head calms down? I think from my own point of view, I think that during that period, the couple should rather be seeking for healing.
Who was the angel?
I don't believe that divorce is the only way to save a marriage personally, yeah. But if someone can abuse you in a relationship, someone can lift their hand up to hit you, why are you married to that person? What are you doing there?
Can the disagreeers now speak?
Okay, divorce is not the only way out. Think back. It has not always been beating now. There were real good times. Think back about that good times. Think back on how you started. You would definitely find a loophole somewhere. I hate beating, but no one is insane. You will not.
Actually, you can be thinking back, it's a good thing, but at some point, people change. People have different behaviors. But then we have to understand that during that period of being married, it's a completely different environment. And if abuse tends to pop up, it means that something is definitely wrong. So I don't think sitting down and thinking back and accumulating the abuse should be a solution to the issue. Play.
Not die inside that marriage.
Amen.
Go away. Stay separate.
The only reason I'm on this side is because of the word only. Divorce is not the only way, actually. Even legally, there's something called judicial separation, which means that you are legally allowed to stop cohabiting with this person for the reasons that you would ordinarily divorce that person. Because even when you go to the courts, the first thing they ask you as a legal practitioner is, have you advised the client on reconciliation? If there is any chance that the parties will reconcile, the court would stop that proceeding to tell you, go and reconcile. So divorce is not aimed at actually separating people. The whole concept of divorce happens when the marriage has broken down irretrievably. Simple. At the same time, there should also be attempts to protect the party being abused. There are laws that protect people, the violence against.
Well, actually in Cameroon does not have specific domestic violence laws that protect people against the perpetrators, but they have put up some articles in order to protect abusers from perpetrating harm on their intimate partner. For example, the Cameroon Penal Code under assault provision, which can be applied to domestic violence, like Article 277 and 279, which talks on assault, occasionally grievous harm, and however at the international level, there have been some conventions that have been adopted, like the Human Rights Convention that was adopted in 1948, and the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Violence Against Women that was adopted by the UN in 1979, and many others applies to Cameroon. In other cases, the Ministry for the Protection of Women and the Family is also significant in handling such cases of abuse.
A body, like a human body, right? And the family is the cells of that society. When you begin to break it off one by one, it causes, you don't know the effects. So saying divorce is just a cure-all excuse and normalizing it is like saying we shouldn't drink liquid because we have the chance of choking. It doesn't make sense.
You courted, you saw those signs. What happened? You were in love, you just ignored the signs. Continue ignoring the signs now. Why did you have to? No, hold on. Except you didn't see the sign, and nobody can say they did not see even the slightest bit of signs that this person could be abusive. I have been there. I have been abused. What did I do? I called my partner. What's going on? What's happening? Why is this thing happening? We had the conversation. You can't just say, oh, divorce is going to solve the issue just like that. It doesn't. Okay, you get divorced, and then what?
A friend of mine.
All right. Dialogue is very important too, in order to curb the issue of divorce in an abusive relationship. But for one, I think that we should first of all look at the root causes of this divorce, the root causes of this abuse that led to divorce. For example, we have to understand that there are some people that out of stress, they tend to be abusive. There are people that grew up in families and environments where abusive relationship was the order of the day. So they had to put it in, accumulate it gradually, and in the course of being with an intimate partner, they tend to exhibit those signs at any given opportunity. Even substance abuse, drug abuse is also very pertinent in causing abuse in relationships, because when people take up these substances, it tends to trigger their brains and even gives them brain malfunction or dysfunction, which tends to make them to get so angry and abuse their partner at every given opportunity. So added to dialogue, I think that we should first of all address the root causes of this abuse.
Starved to death just because of beans. That the beans was not soft enough for a man to eat. The argument started. Okay, let me go and cook it more. He said, why is it taking so long? Just for the woman to say, it's beans. You allow it to solve, and he said it's too strong. Bah! Started punching the woman. She returned to save her life. The next thing the man did, he picked a bottle beside her. A pregnant woman with 3 months child in her womb. Before she rushed to the hospital, she's passing.
This is very sad. We can all understand how just a single act of abuse has just brought down an entire family, because at this point that man's life has become so useless. Either he will be jailed or he will live with the thought of bringing down his family and killing his wife and his unborn child. It's really sad. This issue has been minimized, let me put it this way, in our society, but it is very important for us to start looking at this issue of domestic abuse, because one act of domestic abuse can bring down a generation. Plain.
God forbid.
God forbid. Yeah. But it happens. These are things that happen. Will you stay with him after?
First and foremost, let me tell you the truth. I will definitely want to find out that thing.
No, if your daughter come and meet you, start asking her, is it true or not? If your husband.
This issue is really something else. I don't even think it's easy for that child to gather up the courage to come and start telling you, oh, mommy, I was raped, I was abused by the daddy. In most cases, the perpetrator even threatens the child. If you speak up, I'm going to kill you. So what are you finding out? I don't see any sense in finding out such an issue, because a child cannot go to an extent of lying, thinking of such a lie to bring it up to you as a mom.
Sexually abuse your child, or your wife sexually abuse your child, and you find out it's true, what are you going to do?
You know the beautiful thing about that question? I'm going to consider priorities. If I let my spouse, right, what consequence do you think will be greater? Leaving that marriage is not going to reverse the emotional trauma. If I'm a mother and I didn't have any education whatsoever, I don't have a 9-to-5 job, I don't make any form of money at all, and I know I need that for financial assistance, I'm going to say, look, I'm prioritizing my daughter's or my son's future ahead of this abuse. This abuse, it already happened. It's a bad thing, right?
But it already happened. If you divorce, like, it's stable. There are countries that if you divorce, financial compensation.
It already happens. I am prioritizing your child's future. One thing we need to understand is that, for me, I don't actually think that a child who has been abused or has a future if that issue has not been tackled. How do you expect that child to cope in such an environment where she gets up every morning and she sees the person that did such a devilish act on her? No. I think that child's mental health, her welfare should be a priority. It's not all about her putting up something that we have to, I'm not financially capable, so the man has to continue sponsoring my child. How would the child even learn in school? That is unbelievable. No, my child first before any other thing.
So if you know you're going to get financial, if you know you're going to get financial compensation from divorce, are you going to it?
You never know. You shouldn't get divorced in situations like that. Who is going to help the man? Like, the man needs help.
Obviously, you cannot. That he needs.
Assuming that's your husband.
I'm sorry, you're sexually assaulting my child and you're telling me I should be responsible for him.
Yes,
Bro, what? The man should be in jail.
You should be responsible for has it been like that? Did you know that he has been like that?
After he assaults my daughter, I start interrogating him. Have you been like this? Is this your first time?
So you're putting him in.
You don't even need to be asking such a question that have you been like that? No, you don't need to ask. He has already committed a grievous crime. What needs to be done is for him to be locked up. Even if help has to come after, he has to be locked up in an enclosed area where he will not have an opportunity to cause the same harm to another child. Because if someone can actually do that to his own child, then it is unbelievable. He can do it to any child that he comes across.
Jail, how does that?
I'll be at peace knowing that whoever assaulted my daughter.
Are you sure you'll be at peace, or you're just imagining that?
Let me address a lot of issues that have actually been raised here, most of which border on criminal allegations. If a man rapes a minor, that's a very grievous crime, regardless of whether he's the father or not. And the right steps that should be taken, because you're saying the emotional abuse has happened, you're right. But that daughter will grow up knowing that the mother condoned it. That's a greater emotional abuse.
Exactly. As parents, we are supposed to be guardians to our daughters. So how would you compromise your daughter's welfare because you are in a marriage? The man has to be brought to book and be set as an example for others to follow.
So the best thing the mother can do at that point is to do everything to protect the child, which includes making sure that the father, if you're not going to at least report the father, you take the child away from that environment. But you can also, like I said, if you divorce this man, you have a legal claim to financial support that it would be binding on him. So you saying if you leave, it would, no, that doesn't
It's
happen.
not always like that.
It is
not always like that.
Why will you even go as far as thinking about legal claim to financial support? With or without the financial support, I don't even think that has to be a priority at that moment. I don't even think anybody can understand the trauma of someone who has been abused, what the person goes through. It can trigger your entire life. You can change automatically. Everything can go down the drain to the point where you won't even recognize yourself. So with or without the financial compensation or whatsoever, what I am going to do is to actually, first of all, be thinking about the welfare of my child. I would need to take the child away from that environment for some time and get psychosocial support, seek for counseling, and every other means that could help bring the child back.
Marriage is till death do us part.
Of course, marriage is till death do us part. I mean, for example, you were wedded in church, definitely the officiator would ask those questions and tell you till death do us part, and you say, yes, I do. So
When you're already in the process of dating, fiance or fiance, whatever, you're already thinking consciously and subconsciously in your mind, this is going to be, that's what I would think. This is going to be it. It's death or nothing else. So it's just, I think it's intrinsically obvious.
It's obvious, but are you going to sacrifice your life because you made a vow at the altar that marriage is to death do you part? So death do me part is till I grow old together with my spouse and death does us part. Not that I will see that at a young age it's going to take my life and I remain because a vow was taken that till death do me part. No, I don't think so. If I seek for help and it's not possible, off I go.
Already the Bible said that it hates divorce. And also the Bible said that marriage is there do us part. But when I was growing up, I found out that two of my friends died inside marriage. I married at the age of 19. My husband started hitting me when my child was 4 days old. I will move along with it so that the both sides will not hear. My parents should not hear. My auntie should not hear. But I almost lost my life inside that marriage. I tried to make it work. It could not work. I seek for divorce. They said, don't go. It's okay. You know what to do. When the thing was up here, because after 4 times of entering coma, 3 days, the first one took 4 days, I almost gone. Why waiting until you die? I will make an example with, I'm not mocking her, our singer, Ozinachi. I want to make it work. I want to make it work. She ended up dying. So why dying inside the marriage? Go for divorce. Let people say what they want to say. Save your head so that you can fight for your children when they need you.
It's actually disheartening and sad when you get such news about people dying because of abuse in marriage and leaving children for no one to even cater for. So it's always very necessary when you are going through such abuse. It's always good to speak out, speak up, don't feel embarrassed. Speak up to trusted persons. I think while you speak up, there will obviously be solutions. People might propose solutions for you to seek in order to make that marriage better, or why not make yourself better? After reviewing the causes of abuse, I would like to suggest some remedies of an abusive marriage or relationship. First, educate yourself on the various dynamics of abusive marriages and resources and establishments available to handle such acts. Also, try to dialogue first. In most cases, try to talk things out with your spouse and go further to seek for professional help. Try to speak to people. Try to seek legal advice so they can help you in curbing this abuse in marriage. So in essence, before taking divorce as a cure to that abusive marriage, we should first of all try to implement the above suggestions. So guys, try to put down what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Catch you in the next video.